ARSJ, we entertain. We're family. Come catch the vibe.
This is Janelle with ARSJ, and I'm talking with Chinelo, aka Guy Remembered. I got that right?
Yes. What's up, family?
So who is Guy Remembered?
Who is Guy Remember? Guy Remember is Chinelo. In literal terms, it's Igbo. It's West African, so Chinelo means God remembers or thought of God. But it's a name that I took on for like my music career because I felt like it embodied like all the symbols that are me. And I'm a young kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm a pastor's kid. I grew up in the church. I first fell in love with music when I was like singing in the choir, you know what I'm saying? So my first memories of religion and my first memories of God are with music. So, you know what I'm saying? Like God remember just like always made sense. For some time, I tried to like hide behind the name too. So like God remember at one point in time was like an alias so that like people would know it's me, but not know it's me if I didn't want them to know it was me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but everybody knew like freshman year of college, everybody on campus called me, hey yo, there goes God remember Nello, God remember Nello, because I had that shit as my Instagram name. But
So first off, I want you to shout out your school. Where you from?
Morehouse College.
What was that experience like?
And that was one of the wildest periods of life. But like a beautiful experience. So everybody talks about like, you know, the Morehouse mystique and everything, but like most of what they say about that is real in terms of the connections you make, the way you can network, the different places and friend groups and events and creative shit that you can go to and find yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or like the type of motivation that you experience from being around different people who do what you do just as well as you do. So you gotta figure out a way to really like embody yourself. So it's like, you know, it was a great place to be. I feel like it strengthened me as a person. I majored in religion, so I learned so much about so much about social activism. I learned a lot about different types of religions from around the world, how to look at things from a different perspective, and think for myself. And so, like, all that helped me in so many ways and kind of like crafted the person I am as an artist, too. So, yeah, definitely like shout out Morehouse.
Were you involved with religion and music while on campus?
Yeah, so I was making music while I was on campus. Like, I had chances to link with some like really dope artists my freshman year. They called us like the Artsy Hall LLC. You know what I'm saying? And there's like just times where we were all just locked in a room, or after like niggas connected, like one of my best friends that a lot of people know, Dos Diaz, you know, or he was like Don Vici, or you can go look up the Carter Brown, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these different Flashy De Niro, all these different people who like are doing things musically or just love the craft or came from a real place and just made a connection. Like I got to, you know, connect with them and like I'm still rocking with those same people to this day, like in terms of music or who I'm listening to or who I'm letting inspire me and stuff like that. So
So even with distance and the pandemic and everything, you guys are still connected?
yeah, yeah, I'm still tapped in for sure. My like one of the songs I just released was Touched by Dose. Uh, I recorded the song. I also recorded that song with another artist that I met while I was in college, Kiva Couture, who went to Clark, Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like that song I just dropped. These are people, and I'll be hearing these people. I'll be like, damn, do y'all realize like we've almost known each other for 10 years type shit? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like a decade. But yeah, like I'm definitely like still tapped in with like everybody like to this day and like still like, you know, looking like network and connect and learn from those individuals or see what they're doing right. You know what I'm saying? Like have conversations about it. And it's the best.
And did your creative process change at all over the pandemic, or did you find yourself doing the same types of things?
I feel like I change like every day. I have like my consistent like things that I do religiously. So like during the pandemic, like at first when we was on that quarantine, I put myself on a 9 to 5, 6 to 10, and I was just basically like I would do like my work during the day. I would kind of, and then I'll also be doing music and stuff like that, like in between, like when I'll get bored or something, or if, like I would finish a task, I would dip back. But then like 6 to 10, I'll just go in the studio, lock the door, and like just whatever came, I just shoot off the hip. I saw it in the Tupac movie where Tupac was like, "Hey, one of the things that I did, or like one of the things that really made me grow as an artist was just shooting off the hip and just going in there, really letting whatever comes to mind come out, whatever you're feeling, and like recording those songs." So I've been like recording, and like yeah, during the pandemic, I would say like from that time to now, I probably got like more than 100 songs, like sitting in a folder where it's like it might be some misses, it might be some hits in there, but I really got to develop myself as an artist and like figure out like different places I want to be. So like that 6 to 10 schedule I was doing every day, and I was learning how to engineer too. Like I've known how to do it, but I was really like digging into the craft and like figuring out how to make my vocals sound the way I want them to. So like I was doing that, and yeah, that was my routine.
You say your introduction to music was from birth and being raised in a church. So what was that transition from church to hip hop?
Okay. Then I was always like, because my dad was the pastor, like I would always have to go to everything. Like I would be at all the events, which like, like I appreciate now because I love church and stuff like that. But like as a kid, I would just be blown. But like the best thing to do and the thing that your parents force you to do would be like to sing in the choir or be a part of like some type of like arts department in the church. So I was always in the choir, and like I would get solos. I could hold a little note, and stuff like that. Like I can't sing, what I'm saying, but I could hold a note. And so like it was like times that I would sing solos, and it was just like I didn't realize how it made me feel. You know what I'm saying? But like I was like falling in love with music type. And I would like as a kid looking back, like even though like I tried to be cool about it, I would look forward to the days where it'd be like Youth Sunday and we like singing the choir and stuff like that. So my dad, we moved around when I was a kid. The transition happened when we moved from California to St. Louis. I was 7 years old, and he started pastoring a church in St. Louis. And like, like Cali's a really nice place. You know what I'm saying? Like we lived in Orange County, California, and then we moved to like, like Southside St. Louis, and he's like pastoring the church out there. And it's like a real more. And when I say raunchy, I don't mean it like in like an ugly way, but I mean it more like a little bit closer in proximity to like struggle and like seeing what life was really like or what the experience was really like for Black people, and like just being in certain environments and stuff like that. So he was pastoring a church out in St. Louis, and my sister, she started dating this dude. He was a rapper. He was a rapper, and his name is Sid Strickland. He was also one of my best friends. I just thought he was so cool. And I was like, damn, I love the music in the church. But like I had experienced like a different type of music when I met him, because he was like engineering for himself. He was in the crib recording and stuff like that. So like I met him, and then I started to meet other people who were like in St. Louis who were like rappers and stuff. I started going to school and like freestyle and doing rap battles in the back of the bus and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I love this church. I love this church music. But then I found like another like pocket of music that I also love just as much. And so like, yeah, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be like all the other niggas I was meeting, the Rockwell Knuckles of St. Louis, the Tef Poes of St. Louis and stuff like that. The underground artists, the niggas that were like really like getting to it and like, plugging in and had a team behind them, was creating for themselves. Like I wanted to be that. Like I was like, yo, I want to be like that. Like I want to like create shit and like know that like, like I'm doing something special. So it's like I wanted to get that feeling I was getting while I was singing those solos, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this was like another way.
It's dope that you have those local influences, but who are some of your like top influences? Like
music wise, I feel like I grew up, you know what I'm saying, like really plugged into the town, like, Lil Wayne was one of the most influential rappers. My favorite artist is Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? Above all, so like the the music I'm dropping right now might not tell the story, but if you stick with me to the fall, then you'll kind of like, you know, see like who I study and kind of the music that I really, really love to make. But like, yeah, Lauren Hills. But then I like all types of music. Like I'm really like, I like to be a student of all music. So my favorite genre and the genre I listen to the most would be gospel music, and then I like R&B, old school R&B, and like anywhere from like the '60s to the '80s. Curtis Mayfield, Etta James, Al Green, Bobby Hebb, you know, the Temptations. So I like tap into music like that too, and I like to figure out raunchy ways to recreate those artists. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's kind of like who I am, or my symbols, or like the environment I was brought up in. You know, like you got religion, or like I can couple things with like religion, but then also I can like bridge that gap and like put it in a place where somebody like who's not as well versed with religion can understand what I'm saying, or somebody who loves the church but also loves shit outside the church too can like tap in and enjoy. So yeah, I like to like bridge the gaps and really show people like how well versed I am with all types of music.
So when you say you study your influences, what is that process like?
Uh, it's like seasonal for me, so I'll have like artists that I get obsessed with, or that like I'll try and tap into and like emulate, you know, because it's like so much music and like I don't know, I feel like it's a beautiful world to get lost in. And recently, like mostly I've been tapped in. I've been watching interviews with DMX and like tapping into some of his content. Got arrested, so because I just now like kind of like really like noticed and discovered his connection and the way that he kind of like makes music and made music in a similar style to me, and how that also could have like influenced part of what I'm doing. So I'm like trying to pay homage, and I'm just been watching some of his interviews or paying attention to some of the stuff that he was saying he was doing as an artist and so forth. And so, you know, one of the favorite things that I've seen so far about him was like how he was like out front with like how he felt about his spirituality and stuff like that. And what I'm noticing is like in a lot of his circles, like people were looking at him as like, before we go on the stage and perform, like say your prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, which this lets me know like for me it's beneficial as an artist to know like there's a lane and there's people who have like have done what I've done. Like I'm not the first person to, you know what I'm saying, like combine this like street shit with religion, or like real life shit, or partying or smoking weed with religion and shit like that. Like it's other artists, it's other maces, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just try to like pay homage to that shit, and then also like it's reassuring for me to see like, okay, like yeah, I could be that nigga in the room that say the prayer before we go on the show and then like wreck that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think the state of the culture is, being that we're losing so many legends back to back?
I feel like it hurts. Um, it hurts in like different ways, but I wouldn't say like it means like things are like darker in terms of the culture, because like, you know, they're iconic, they're legends because they live on regardless, you know, of whether they're in their physical bodies or not. Because making music, creating, you put your soul into stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like those interviews you do, you put your soul into stuff. And like people we have, like, you know, the great Kobe Bryant, you know, been gone for almost, how long has it been since his death?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Nip has been gone for how long? Almost.
No, it's 2 years for Nip, 1 year for Kobe.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like, but their stuff is like, I see their content every day. You know what I'm saying? Or if like I need inspiration, like I know where to go to get their content, or to watch a Kobe, you know what I'm saying, game and stuff like that. And like every time he played, he put his heart on the floor. Every time Nip did a song, he put his heart in the song. So it's like, it's good to have those things, and it's good to know, like, you know, even though there's so much more, you know, those people could have done. Like I feel like DMX was just getting started. You know what I'm saying? Kobe was just getting started on the outside of his career. Nick was just getting started with things outside of the music industry, you know, and it's just like looking at those different things. It's sad that they didn't get to do them, but they left so much behind, and that's why people respect them the way they do. And so it never hurts the culture to lose them. It does hurt the culture to lose them in ways, but it's never going to stop the train because what we have from them is sufficient. They gave us so much. Like,
How do you feel about people who pay homage after the fact, though? All of a sudden, they're fans. They're streaming all their music after they die, though.
hey, I don't know. I felt like if I died and like somebody got hit to me after the fact, I would be dead. But you know what I'm saying? Like I would be dead. Like they pay homage, and at least they like, you know, if I did it well enough, then like even if they catch me on the back end, and they'll still get the message, you know. And if they get the message, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So that's the way
Go ahead.
that's the way I would look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like you get the credit you deserve for your artistry?
Oh no. No, but I appreciate every bit of credit that I do get, or every time somebody says like, "Yo, I believe in you," and I really love the fact that like recently, like my interactions with people, when I show them the music or they play a song or they hear something, it's not like they're telling me things like people say it's the worst compliment, but I look at it this, they'd be like, I'll actually listen to this, or like, hey, I'm gonna send this to somebody, or I'm about to send this to or you need to meet this person, or you know what I'm saying, like the compliments that in the way that people are showing love says that they want to be a part of the journey with me as an artist, which is like I appreciate that, and like I've been like trying real hard to really focus in on enjoying the process because like these are the moments where like I'll never get back, and like you know like it's one thing to like reach a pinnacle and be like, oh hey, this is where I wanted to go, but it's another thing like when you be looking back on those moments where you wasn't there yet, and like you had the best memories and times and shit like that, and you know what I'm saying, I'm trying not to miss it. I'm trying to be in the moment and like really love that shit. But I don't feel like I get the credit I deserve only because I believe in myself that much. And like, I really, every time I make a song, I'd be like, oh, like, and I like it. Like, I'm like, oh, damn, like, these niggas don't even know. Like,
But how are you promoting yourself and getting yourself out there so more people can hear you?
Yeah, so I just recently, I was in Atlanta like last year. I recently just made the move to Denver, Colorado, and it was like during the pandemic and whatnot. And so I really just, I've been trying to strengthen up my social media game and stuff like that. But also, I've been talking with the team that we've been putting together uh, over some time. We got different people who's running like social media management, doing videos, artwork. And when I say we, I'm talking about Junior Black Music Group, which is a music affiliation that I be repping in my music, or if you see when I drop songs and stuff like that. Shout out to my bro Shaq. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'd be doing that, and then like on the back end, what we're planning on right now is like grassroots everything. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like really getting the music out, and Colorado is a different place in terms of like music because it's way more ambiguous, which is what I wanted. Because I didn't want to be in a place where like the music is saturated. Because I can make so many different types of music that I would want people to recognize and see that, you know what I'm saying, without me having to conform to one brand. But being out here, the music is like ambiguous. People like anything. If it's good music, they gonna pump that shit. So it's like we try and do like a grassroots movement. Like if I meet somebody, I'm sharing them with music, doing shows in cribs, venues, wherever the fuck we can get, and really just try and get people, you know what I'm saying, tap in, and subscribe, and restream, and play our songs and do things like that, and then invest into the camp, like invest everything. Everything is worth the investment. The videos worth the investment, which we're doing more of. More videos dropping this summer. I put out this month. We dropped or like within the past 2-3 months, we put out 3 singles. We got Workaholic, which I dropped with the artist Kiva Couture. got Everything We Cannot Be, which I dropped with another Chicago artist, Judy. And then I got Franklin that just dropped. And that's just me on there. You know what I'm saying? But like all them joints are hits. And we've been plotting this shit out for years. And all them songs is like, well, except for one, but two of those songs is like from 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't rush to release it. You're intentional in releasing your music.
Super intentional. But I that shit be hurting me sometimes. So I think.
Why?
Because sometimes I feel like when you're too intentional, you just kind of like I kind of like lose touch with just being a creative and wanting to share with people. You know what I'm saying? And like ultimately, that's what I be really wanting is like to share with people. Like I feel like I won when somebody listen to the song and be like, "This helped me," or "I fuck with this joint," or you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the win.
Franklin from Snowfall, you said that's one of your personalities. How so?
I feel like I fuck with Franklin because like he's like a well-mannered dude and kind of like kind, and like his character development, the way his character has developed, I mean, people have fucked with him along the way and shit like that. And I feel like that resonates with me where I'm like kind of kind, well-mannered dude. But you know, like people fuck with you along the way. Like you figure out different ways to handle things and figure out situations and stuff like that. And you know, he's just always changing on the show. Like it's kind of like hard to guess who he's gonna be each episode. Is he gonna be the nigga that, you know what I'm saying, like almost kills his friend? Or the nigga that, you know what I'm saying, doesn't have it in his heart to take his dad out before he snitches about the CIA, you know what I'm saying? Like, or is it like kind, sweetheart nigga that like just wants to cry on his mama? Like, I feel like.
So that's you?
Yeah, that's me for sure. Yeah.
And how are you with acknowledging character flaws?
I feel like I do okay at it.
What are your character flaws?
Character flaws. I sometimes I don't give myself enough grace. Yeah, I said that I don't give myself enough grace. I be having like a lot of like anxiety about stuff I shouldn't be worried about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And you have a song called Eden. What is Eden to you?
Eden, that's my baby. It's a song that I wrote, and it was about the story of creation in the book of Genesis, uh, where man and woman was created and formed in the Garden of Eden. Uh, and so I felt like it was a great song for me in terms of like introducing myself to my listeners. And like I really wanted people to like focus in on the content and like what I was saying in the song. It's funny because like I wrote it. The reason I wrote Eden, I was talking to I was talking to this girl, just texting with friends. We was just texting and stuff like that. And I was like sending her my music sometimes and stuff like that. And one day she actually texted me. She was like, "Yo, Nella was cool." It was like something along the lines of, and I ain't mad at her or anything like that. Like, "Yo, Nella was cool and all, whatever, but I don't know about the music." But she didn't mean to send it to me, and so I was like, "Oh, word!" And I was just like really mad, and I felt like I just, I don't know, I just needed to put that somewhere. So I recorded a song, and that's how like Eden kind of started, and how the lyrics in the song go. You know what I'm saying? I put my heart in my work. You know, like I was really like trying to like communicate a message, but also I wanted to like, okay, bet like y'all really gonna meet me as an artist. And so Eden, the storyline, you know what I'm saying, how people typically understand the story of creation in Eden, you know what I'm saying, says that like it was the fall of mankind when they ate the apple. And you know, when Eve took a bite, and you know what I'm saying, they're saying like that was when things went left. And so in the song Eden, I'm trying to communicate that that's not where things went left. You know what I'm saying? Things went left from them trying to be in a space where, you know, like where everything's okay and like things aren't real and where they're not connected to the raunchiness of life because it exists. You know what I'm saying? You got to know it's out there, and if you don't know it's out there, you can't, like, you're not connected. And so uh, Eden to me was like reversing that story and saying like, hey, like this is the beginning. Like we're gonna eat this apple, and this is when life gets raunchy, and this is when, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna start to live and breathe as an artist and let y'all know like that I'm here, you know, like, and y'all gonna feel me and respect my artistry. Know that I put my heart in my work. I came out the dirt with this shit. Like
You said you were really mad at her. So as a human, do you see yourself needing validation from other people, or are you gonna grind and get it regardless?
I feel like I'm a hybrid, you know what I'm saying? You got sativas, you got indicas. Sometimes I don't give a fuck what people think. Sometimes I do care what people think. And you know what I'm saying? I think part of like part of my identity as an artist is like I'm so confident in myself and like the stuff that I put into the music that like, you know, like somebody can like not like my shit and like it's okay, it just wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? Or like, and that's okay. But yeah, I really believe in the shit I put into the music. So I'm like, I know it's gonna work with somebody. Like,
I've been watching some of the visuals. They're pretty dope. So who's the mastermind behind like the videos and stuff?
man, the Eden music video was shot by my line brother, Brooklyn McCarty, Brook Waving. Um, and he's a madman. So like Eden, we got animals in that shit. This deer, we got mountains, skies, prairies, all that, like trees. And it was one person who shot, it was just him who shot that video. He flew out to Denver. We went, I had some locations in mind, and like I had like thought out the script and like the way the music video would go. My bro Khalif was in town, and he was like, I was asking him, like, yo, bro, I need you to be Adam in this video because I need it. Khalif is like, you know, he's a beautiful black man. You know what I'm saying? Like dark skin, he had the braids, and that's like everything I want to portray about like who would be the first man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In creation and stuff like that. I tried to get somebody to play Eve, but then like that person ended up backing out. So I kind of like ended up making like Eve like a spirit in the video, and wanted her to like kind of emulate through different things like the mask, and kind of like implicate that in this video, woman was God, woman's decision was the right decision. And you know, yeah, but Brook Waving is a madman, but like for like concepts and stuff like that, or like the ideas of the video, like I'm always thinking about that, like too, like sometimes before I make a song or like as I'm making the song.
Where is he based?
Brook is based in Atlanta. His his IG is Brook Waving, BROOKWAVEN.
So you said you had a deer in it. So I've been on sets before and like shoots, and you'll choose locations and you'll be somewhere at some time. Say you want to be at a certain location at 3:00. How did the deer get into it? Like, was that random?
Oh my God, we was done shooting. We was like leaving. So Garden of the Gods is in Colorado, but I think it's like it's like a couple hours out near like Colorado Springs. Somebody might pull my Colorado card on that, but whatever. But yeah, Garden of the Gods, we was shooting out there, and like that's a tourist spot. So there's people like walking around, driving, like it's a lot of traffic that day. So like they were like watching us. I was like literally performing in front of these people as us recording the video and stuff. And we're walking out after we leave like this pit that like it was like an intersection with like cars going by and people like yelling at me as I was like recording. We're walking back up the trail, and there's like some deers that were like just decided to come out and like I guess pay the tourists to visit and stuff like that. So the deers was sitting there eating. I was like, Brook. And he immediately took his camera out and started recording. And it was perfect. Yeah.
That's a dope memory.
it just kind of worked out. God remembered that day.
You say you've been really down lately. So when you find yourself down, how do you keep yourself grounded or get back grounded?
Okay. These are some informed questions. Thank you for that. That's dope.
I try.
Nah, I definitely been feeling down. Like I've been like, I'm proud of myself. I was proud of myself today or whatever, just because I was thinking about all the things I've been doing, like showing myself love. And like I started doing like therapy and stuff like that. I'm not like well versed in it yet, but I'm definitely like liking the experience and getting into it. Doing Tai Chi, um, yoga, but like the type of yoga that is like trauma responsive yoga, like certain positions and stuff like that that you like sit in to like address certain types of racial trauma, um, which also goes hand in hand. I'm finna grab this joint with this book I've been reading, my grandmother's hands. You know what I'm saying? It's a good book that also talks about like racialized trauma and pathways to mending our hearts and bodies through different positions and some of the literature in here.
So is it societal racial trauma? Or are there any experiences you had as a child that triggered that?
I mean, I feel like it's always so much going on for like, you know, Black individuals and stuff like that. And so like the reason I took on the religion major and the reason I, wanted to do that, like at first I was trying to do political science. I always knew I like wanted like supposed to be a politician.
Oh, you froze for a second. I need you to go back to, you said you wanted to study political science, but.
Oh, okay. I was saying I wanted to study political science, but I realized it really wasn't for me. I was like figuring out where I fit in terms of like organizing community. And I thought I was supposed to be a politician. That shit wasn't it. So like I tried. That's what led me to religion. I had the church background, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I come from a family of like preachers and like my grandma. Shout out to my grandma, Bishop Carolyn Tyler Guidry. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? But like those are like that's the people like I was like looking up to and like who were like helped influence who I am. So I tried out religion, but it actually worked out because I was learning stuff like aside from the African American church, I was learning about Buddhism. I was learning about like social activism. I was learning about Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? So like it was a good transition for me to be able to go from that to that. And yeah, what was the question again? I feel like I got off track. Or did I answer what you were saying?
You did.
Okay. Like sometimes
the freezing threw me off.
Oh, okay.
And are your parents supportive of your artistry?
Yeah, I was like, it took me some time to kind of work up the courage to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is me. This is who I am. But yeah, they are. My dad, I play one of the songs I recently recorded from my dad and stepmoms in the car the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll listen through all the shit that I be saying, like all the shits, ass, bitches, fucks, and curse words and shit. Like they'll listen through that shit and like, catch the message and be like, I like this song. You should get this on the radio. And like that shit be meaning the world. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
do they critique you at all?
They'll do like kind-hearted critiques. Like stepmom will be like, I like the songs where you repeat the words. You know what I'm saying? She's like, those are the ones I remember. She like, play that one song. Play that one song. Like, all right, I'm talking about this one. So yeah, they'll critique.
What is your greatest form of self-care?
Music. No matter what, like I can always take what I'm feeling and put it in a song, and like there's been some fucked up things that people have said to me. There's been like some fucked up situations I've been in. There've been some crazy experiences that either I've myself experienced or I've been in proximity to the experience, whether it was a friend or another friend. You know what I'm saying? And I want to get that shit off for like that I could always put in the music. You know what I'm saying? And like take control of that shit again, and then like listen to it and hear myself say it and hear it again, and be proud of it because I put it in the music. You know what I'm saying? So that I feel like that's my greatest form of self-care. No matter what I be going through, or no matter like what be going on, or like the state of the world, a pandemic, a Panasonic, like whatever, like I've always like loved music, like through whatever, like whether it was church hurt or whatever. I've always never stopped loving the music. And so I say that's my greatest form of self-care because I can always turn on that shit no matter what. And I can always take something inside and put it on that MP3 or that wave.
And what else can fans expect from you for the rest of 2021?
The rest of 2021, I'm finna keep dropping these bombs on their head. I'm finna keep, coming out with these singles. We dropping all the ratchet shit right now for the summertime so everybody can be outside and play the songs, you know what I'm saying, as the world opens back up. But definitely like closer to the fall, we've been working on closer to the fall, maybe like July or August in terms of release date. But there's an album we've been working on for some years now. Like I've been working on this album for years, and it tells like my story, my journey from like being that church kid to discovering rap to being involved socially and like engaging in activism and like addressing the times and stuff like that. So it's like an album that I feel like embodies that. It's an album for people who love religion but also love other shit. It's an album for people who are church kids. It's an album for PKs. It's an album for street niggas. It's an album for individuals who are intellectual and went to divinity school. It's an album for everybody, like in terms of that. So it's like I really got to put myself into that shit, and we're looking at dropping that July, August.
Dope. So what are your socials? Where can people find you? Check you out.
Find me on Instagram at gr.nello. Instagram on gr.nello. Also, you can tap in with that Junior Black Music Group too. And then on Twitter, I just changed my handle on Twitter to at gr.nello too. So you can find me on there under the same handle. Oh no, on Twitter I'm at Chinelo Tyler. At Chinelo Tyler. So. And yeah, find me on there on Facebook, Chinelo Tyler. On YouTube, Chinelo Tyler, or look up Guy Remember. Is that all the socials? I hit all the socials?
Yeah.
Or you could just, hit me up if you got my number.
So definitely after you drop some projects, we definitely have to do this again so we can review your album and all that.
No, that'd be dope. I would really like that. And I can't wait to like talk about some of the songs. There would be like a lot to talk about, like a lot of content that'll come from it. So it'll be necessary. And I appreciate, taking the time to interview and all the questions and everything this time.
Of course. Definitely keep in touch. Have a good one.